Hi, friends and subscribers, friends who are subscribers, and subscribers who have become friends, and everyone else. You are indeed all valued and appreciated. I feel semi bad about my video of yesterday. On the one hand, it must have been very emotional for Charles and William to watch the crown sit there and knowing that their mother and grandmother will likely never again follow it into that chamber. So I'm sorry if I stepped on toes on the wrong day. Having said that, I do still think that I had some valid points, but we'll leave it here for now, as I promised you a positive video today. Some of you may be here waiting for the next scandal or gossip, but I need some positivity, and I think some of you do too. One of my favorite royals is Sophie Wessex, the wife of Prince Edward, the youngest son of the Queen and Prince Philip. Sophie Helen Rice Jones was born on the 20th of January 1965 in Oxford to her parents Christopher Rhys Jones and his wife Mary, born O'Sullivan. She has an older brother, David. Sophie was raised in a four-bedroom farmhouse in Brenchley in Kent. She went to Dulwich Prep School and then went to Kent College, and from there she went to West Kent College where she trained to become a secretary. Starting at school, Sophie's loyalty and kindness became one of her best attributes. One example is the fact that while she was at Kent College, she became friends with Sarah Sinisi, with whom she later shared a flat in Fulham and who also later became her lady-in-waiting. Sophie met Prince Edward for the first time in 1987 while she was working at Capital Radio, and he was dating a friend of hers at the time. She met him again in 1993 and they began dating soon after. Edward proposed to Sophie in December 1998 and their engagement was announced on the 6th of January 1999. They got married on the 19th of June 1999 at St. George's Chapel, and after their marriage they moved to Bagshot Park in Surrey, where they actually still live. Sophie opened her own public relations agency in 1996, but closed it in 2002 to become a full-time working member of the royal family. Boy, and work she did. Regardless of having difficult pregnancies and their eldest, Lady Louise, being born early, Sophie kept her chin up, working with charities such as Childline, London College of Fashion, and her own charity revolves around people with disabilities, avoidable blindness, and agriculture. She's currently the patron of more than 70 charities and growing, and the Earl and Countess of Wessex Charitable Trust is managed from their private office, which was at first at Buckingham Palace, but now it had been moved to St. James's Palace due to renovations at Buckingham Palace. Although Sophie had established her own charities and patronages, she also stepped up to fill gaps left by others. For instance, she succeeded the Queen Mother as patron of the Royal College of Speech and Language Therapists. She also became the new president of Girl Guiding UK after the death of Princess Margaret in 2002. In 2003, Sophie took over the patronage of the National Autistic Society from Princess Anne. In 2004, she joined St. John Ambulance as their president, where she has received numerous awards and accolades for her never-ending support and hard work. Yes, throughout her time with St. John's, Sophie had been actively involved, whether taking stock or packing stock or administrative duties, and during the pandemic, she completed the required training to become a care volunteer in support of NHS's vaccination program. In 2021, she received a service medal from St. John's for her 15 years of service. Sophie also worked with Childline prior to becoming their first ever royal patron. Currently, Sophie holds more than 70 patronages, like I said, and attends more than 200 events per year. And as we know, with Prince Philip, Harry, and Andrew now out of the picture, these numbers are growing. Yet, Sophie is handling it all with grace and a smile. At her marriage to Prince Edward, she became Her Royal Highness Countess of Wessex, and in Scotland, Her Royal Highness the Countess of Forfar. In 2002, she received the Queen Elizabeth II Golden Jubilee Medal, 2004 Royal Family Order of Queen Elizabeth II, 2005 Commemorative Medal for the Centennial of Saskatchewan, 2010 Grand Dame Cross of the Royal Victorian Order, 2012 Queen Elizabeth II Diamond Jubilee Medal, 2016 Canadian Forces Decoration, 2017 the Service Medal of the Order of St. John, 2021 Service Medal of the Order of St. John, First Bar to the Service Medal, 2022 Queen Elizabeth II Platinum Jubilee Medal, and in April 2022 Dame Grand Cross of the Order of St. John. Now, if all of that sounds daunting enough, Sophie holds numerous honorary military appointments. In the UK alone, she is Colonel-in-Chief of the Queen Alexandra Royal Army Nursing Corps, Colonel-in-Chief of the Royal Corps of Army Music, Lady Sponsor of HMS Darling, Royal Colonel of the 5th Battalion, the Rifles, Honorary Air Commodore, Royal Air Force Wittering, and her latest appointment as Colonel-in-Chief of the Royal Electrical and Mechanical Engineering Corps. But Sophie is not just the work she does as a royal. It is said that the Queen had taken to Sophie, and their good relationship continues to this very day. Sophie, like the other royal wives, had a bit of a rocky start. She was referred to as the girl next door, and she faced public scrutiny for her business interests. But when she transitioned to becoming a full-time working royal, she approached it with maturity and a very low-key, no-nonsense approach. Those in the royal households describe her as a stabilizing influence and a safe pair of hands. Sophie often drives herself to and from her engagements. Sophie also eventually began to develop her own style. She does not have a stylist and never had, yet in 2015 she was named on Vanity Fair's Best Dressed list. But of course, Sophie is also a mother to Lady Louise, who is now 18, and James, Viscount Severin, 14. And unlike the other royals of her generation and since, Sophie did not give birth in a private hospital, but instead had both her children at Frimley Park NHS Hospital in Surrey. Louisa's birth was a horrific experience, as Sophie had to have an emergency cesarean a month before her due date. While baby Louise had to be taken to St. George's Hospital for specialist care, Sophie had to remain at Frimley Hospital for a number of days, I think 16 days, as she came close to death after losing 9 pints of blood through internal bleeding. James was born in 2007 at the same hospital, and this time all went well. Sophie is said to be a very involved mother, being involved in her children's schooling and extramural activities. And then we also know that Sophie was likely the one daughter-in-law who was the closest to Prince Philip. And we also see that in her children, Lady Louise, who was the apple of her grandfather's eye, and who then indeed also inherited his carriages. Okay, guys and girls, so that was something completely different, and let's appreciate Sophie Wessex for one day before we go back and point fingers at all the nasty doings of the Harkles. Okay, guys, you guys take care until we meet again on the next one. Bye.